Hey guys, Brandon Woolum hanging a little outside Nashville today with Granger and Amber Emily Smith. How are you guys?
We're good. How about you?
Yeah, so this time we get to talk. We've talked with Granger in the past. This time we get you too. And we get to talk about a book that you've got coming out, a very personal book to you. It's going to take you back 6 years or so to the craziest time of your life. And I'm guessing still very crazy and hard to talk about. Something you guys have been open about since it happened, since the incident happened. What are they going to find out this time in this book as you take another deep dive into this personal journey you've been on?
Well, I'm hoping it reaches not only the people that have followed us and know our story, but I hope it reaches far beyond that, to where it reaches people who might be in a very dark season of grief and might think that they might find themselves there on the bathroom floor. And I want them to know that that's not the end of their story, that God does incredible things in those dark places. And I want them to know that they're not alone. And I tried to be very real and raw and vulnerable in sharing all of my feelings about grief and what I went through. And it was messy and not pretty. And I hope that this book can be just a light for somebody else in their dark time, as so many other books were for me.
Yeah. Overcoming this kind of grief is something most people can't even imagine. What kind of scriptures and just promises of the Lord got you through this time?
All of them. All of them. I mean, I Romans 12:12, be joyful in hope, patient in affliction, faithful in prayer. Trust in the Lord with all your heart and do not lean on your own understanding, because we are not God. We don't understand his ways. We don't understand why so many things happen this side of heaven. But we do live in a fallen world, and we have suffering and sin and sickness and death because it is fallen, because of our sin or somebody else's, and because we have a real enemy out to steal, kill, and destroy. And so I just think really leaning on all of God's promises all throughout his scriptures about he is holy, he is just, he is sovereign, he is loving, he is kind, but you have to get to know the whole grand story. It's the most incredible story ever told.
Yeah, this book will be out on October 14th, Girl on the Bathroom Floor. In this book, you kind of mentioned that at one point you almost idolized River. How did you come to that crazy, honest realization and then get the freedom of escaping that?
Yeah, I think often we don't realize that we can even make good things in our lives an idol. We can make our children our idols, our husbands or wives, our jobs, our careers, our social media followers, on social media. We can make anything that takes the place of God an idol in our life. And I realized just when I was deep in my grief that my son had become an idol. I was longing so much to be with him and seeking him. And I was in such sorrow that I wasn't seeking my Savior. I was sitting in my grief, and I was seeking the gift of wanting to be with my son, and instead of seeking the giver. And there was just a really powerful moment where the Lord met me in that dark place. And I felt by the Spirit, enough. Seek me. And I immediately got up and wiped my eyes and went to read my Bible. It was very powerful, and I talk about that in the book.
Yeah, many women are going to resonate with the story of the miscarriage and getting the power to try again. If there's a female watching this that's going through that same thing and fighting through it and just doesn't know what to do, what do you say to them?
First of all, I'm sorry, and it's really hard, and there are really painful things that we have to face, but just to remain in prayer and don't run away from the Lord, run to him. And I think I need to say, you need to make Jesus your ultimate treasure and surrender to him and just trust that he loves you, he has a plan for you, and that might not always be what you want, but it's what you need, and just running to him in faith.
Yeah, this book had to be so tough to write. What kind of timeline were we looking at for when you wrote this book? Was it all kind of recent, or have you been compiling a journal maybe since this happened?
I did journal the whole first year after we lost River, so I was able to look back on those journals and kind of see really where my head was at, which was really sweet to go back and see compared to where I am now, where the Lord has led me through and how he has healed so much of my heart. But I was given 4 months to write the manuscript, and then we've been editing for a little over a year.
Yeah, you describe in the book there's beacons in the breaking. Mm-hmm. What are some of the most vivid ones that stick out that you remember?
In the hospital, when we made the decision to donate River's organs, he was able to save 2 lives. And it was that we had a little glimmer of light there in the hospital to know that this wasn't all for nothing, that there was good that was coming out of this, that this wasn't a senseless accident or a meaningless tragedy, that there was a plan. And River was able to help save 2 other people.
Yeah. Through all this, you still have 3 kids that you have to be a parent to. How do you balance that of them honoring their brother and they still get to live in the moment of the excitement of being a kid? How does you balance that as parents?
Do you want to answer that? No? Well, it was really hard. We both grieved very differently. And we tried from the very beginning to tell them that any emotion that they feel is okay. And they were so little. They were 7 and 5. So some days there were tears. Some days they were joyfully singing and playing like nothing had happened because they couldn't truly process what they were going through. We couldn't process what we were going through. But we very much kept River alive in our home. We talked about him all the time. We kept his pictures up. We didn't close off the room. We didn't say they couldn't play with his toys. We just let us all feel what we felt. We let them see us grieve, not super heavily, but they needed to know that life isn't perfect. Life is really hard, and you're going to face some really hard things. But we aim to just keep our eyes on the Lord, and by God's grace, they have healed very well.
Yeah. And today, you're still keeping his memory alive with the River Kelly Fund. Maybe talk about that a little bit and how folks can get involved with it.
Yeah, so we started that, my brother-in-law started that as we were leaving the hospital because we wanted to give back to Dell Children's. They took such good care of him. And we raised money with a T-shirt. And that was another beacon in the breaking, was that we were able to see, okay, we can give back. Drowning is our story. We lost our son to drowning, but that wasn't who River was. He was full of light and joy, and we wanted to honor his life in a way that would help other people. So we've been able to give back over $500,000 to 30 to 35 different organizations all across the world, and that has just given me purpose in my pain.
Yeah. If somebody's watching this and they're having their own sitting there on the bathroom floor moment, what do you want to bend down and just whisper in their ear?
I would say read the letter to the girl on the bathroom floor in the book, because that is my initial entrance into the book, is just to meet them where they are and just say, I know how much this hurts and I know how hard it is, but I want you to know that you can do this, that you're not alone, and just give them encouragement that they can stand up, they can find joy again, they can find hope again. It's going to be really hard and it's going to be really messy, but oftentimes, that bathroom floor moment is the beginning of something really incredibly beautiful. And God did a really transformative work, not only in our hearts, but our families, our family and our home, and saved us through this. And so I just pray that that can be an encouragement that so many other people were for me, that if she can get through this, I can get through this too.
Yeah. To go a little off topic, Granger, these past 3 or 4 months, mainstream country artists have really been putting out Jesus music. It's not just putting Jesus' name in the song anymore. It's full-on Christian music. I mean, just in the past couple of weeks, a couple guys have put songs out. For those kind of artists that are out there right now that are juggling this balance of their secular music career and staying true to their faith, as somebody who has experienced it, what advice do you give that artist?
It's very difficult, very, very difficult to be able to find a balance. I'm not talking about singing about Jesus or singing secular music. I'm talking about the balance of being an artist that people love and adore and buy tickets to your show and raise up their hands and cheer for you, and yet deny yourself, humble yourself, as Peter says, and still be sanctified as a Christian. Those are two very difficult things, and so it's a dangerous place to be.
Yeah. Yeah. The book will be out there everywhere on the 14th, but folks that are watching this, they're probably watching it on YouTube or something. You guys have plenty of platforms that folks can go to and see all these podcasts and stuff. Talk about still just kind of living your life in the public eye even today.
Yeah, I mean, we love our Smiths, people that follow us and want to see parts of our lives, and they've come along with us on this journey, and now a lot of them are on the book launch team, and they're getting to see, read the story before other people, and they've truly been cheering us on from the beginning. And so, yeah, we still have YouTube. We're still on our socials of Instagram, and it's a great way for me to connect with people. I run my own Instagram, and I like to message and chat with people who are going through a really hard time. So it's been a blessing.
Yeah, as somebody myself who is on social media daily in a work and Christian environment, reading some of the comments is rough sometimes. I can't imagine what you guys went through when all of this happened. Was there ever you sit back and think, maybe we don't need to have our life on the internet because this is exaggerating this even more than it needs to be?
Yeah, we wrestled with that. I mean, immediately when we left the hospital, I think you put all of the videos on private. You were like, no, we're not doing this.
Yeah.
And then we decided, you know what? Life is hard. Life is really hard, and we need to be vulnerable and honest about what we're going through. We're a family channel. Families go through really hard things, so we put all our stuff back up. But yeah, it was devastating. The comments that people said to us that, I always tell people, I doubt they would look me in my eyes and say that after I just lost my child. But hurt people, and I can't be surprised at what people say that are not close to the Lord. So we try to teach our kids, we need to pray for them, pray for their hearts to be softened, pray for their hearts to be changed. It's stirring it all back up again now with the book coming out. So it's like we're getting attacked again. So it's like this revisiting all of that. But we're in a different place, and we trust that we can't believe the lies. We can only believe the truth of our family and what we know and what the Bible says.
Yeah, I love it. October 14th, Girl on the Bathroom Floor will be out there everywhere. Thanks for hanging with us today, guys.
Thank you so much.